from the heart of the action. Welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Another exciting time to talk sport right here on Dominion Television, your channel of choice, where we talk all things sports this morning. Yes, good morning to you. I am Abepo Toluwanimi, and I have Samson Balogun, the man with unbiased analysis, to give us updates in the world of sport this morning, giving us top-notch analysis and breaking everything down just for you. Also, I have Fola right here with me this morning to talk sport on Dominion Sport, Dominion Television, your channel of choice. We look forward to the game against Rwanda on Saturday by 5 p.m. right there at the Gospel Pabio Stadium. And this morning, we'll be looking straight into the camp of the Super Eagles. Also on the menu, we did on the show, we have the local stories just for you. Anas Yusuf picked up his Golden Boot Award yesterday right there in Abuja with the sum of 2 million naira, and also coach of Remo Stars also picking up his award yesterday. Also, let me inform you that Warri Wolves also has been fined. Also, we have the U.S. Open on the menu this morning. And also, we'll be looking at Kelechi Iheanacho and also Azizat Oshuala who have booked their place or at their new home right there in Saudi Arabia, and also right there in the Scottish Premier League. All this and more on the show, but let me introduce to you Samson Balogun looking... Samson, what's happening? You look prepared already for Uyo. Would you be covered? What's happening? Are you...
Most likely, yes. But if things change and we have to be on ground for other duties, yes, probably will not be there. But then I want to welcome our viewers to the show today. It's going to be a wonderful show. Of course, we have a lot to unpack. Dolua Rukudari now, in the camp of the Super Eagles, and so many other players too. So there's a lot to unpack. Just sit back, relax as we move on.
All right. Fola, good morning to you. How are you feeling this morning?
Feeling very excited.
You should be feeling bright because the Bayelsa Queens are through to the final. How excited are you?
My girls are not disappointed. Women power.
Women power. Nice. Okay, let's get straight into the local story this morning, where MPFL gift Anas and also Ogumodede 2 million naira each as top scorer and coach of the year. The Nigeria Professional Football League, MPFL, has honored 2 outstanding performers from the 2024-2025 season with cash awards of 2 million naira each. Nasarawa United striker Anas Yusuf, who netted 18 goals to finish as the league top scorer, received the award alongside Daniel Ogumodede, head coach of Remo Stars, who guided his side to an historic first MPFL title. Remo Stars clinched the championship with 71 points, becoming the first privately owned club from Southwest since 2000 to lift the league trophy. Also speaking during the award ceremony, Nigerian Federation NFF President Alhaji Ibrahim Gusau, represented by Secretary General Dr. Mohamed Sanusi, commended the MPFL board for its progress. The league is improving week in, week out every day. I received not less than 20 invitations from club abroad. Instead of gaslighting our league, let us support and rally around and make the league famous. MPFL chairman Otumba Gbenga Elegbeleye reaffirmed the league commitment to raising standard despite challenges. Also, we continue to work around the teething issues and also look forward to issues disrupting the game of football right here in the MPFL. Also, one man also said something yesterday. That's the award winner himself, Anas Yusuf, also speaking, saying, I'm happy, to be awarded the top goal scorer of last season, and I'm set to do something better this season. That's coming through from Anas Yusuf. Also, Tumba Gbenga Elegbeleye also speaking and also representing the NFF man himself, the Secretary General Sanusi, saying, let us praise the league, let us improve the league better, not gaslight the league like every other league right here. For you, good one, 2 million naira each. For Gbenga, sorry, let me get the name properly. That's Gbenga Ogunmadede and also Anas Yusuf, Remo Stars coach, and also Nasarawa striker, getting to 2 million naira each. For you, a good commendation going forward?
Yeah, I think it's actually a thing of joy to see that eventually they got what they deserve, even though some people might think they deserve more. But I want to put this into a different context. When you look at how much an average player earns in the MPFL, and then you get 2 million naira out of the blue just for being the highest goal scorer, and most definitely being the best coach in the league last season, I think that is not out of place. It is not too small for me. I just feel like we could do more with branding and, of course, get sponsors to actually spearhead this, and not the MPFL doing it on their own. Yeah. I mean, in the EPL, we do know that there are sponsors attached to these awards, and that makes it perfectly okay. But unfortunately, in Nigeria, there was a scuffle between the NPFL and, of course, the particular brand that was meant to sponsor this. Like, it was being hijacked from the MPFL. But at this point, I think the MPFL came to say, look, it is us, and if in the future we are going to have a business to do together, we are still going to reach a different agreement to what we currently have. So kudos to the MPFL for trying to get this done. Kudos to Honorable Gbenga Elegbeleye for spearheading this and saying, look, we have to do this on our own if you are not coming on board on our own terms. And I think that is the most important thing we should be looking at. You should not be coerced or bullied into taking what you don't want to take just because someone is, is the money bag and carries money around. So I think they stood their ground. No, you have the money. Yeah, you have the money. But then you cannot bully us into submission. And this is one of the things we want to see. And that is when you get quality. Because if you know what you want, you have set a standard for yourself. Regardless of what that person is bringing on to the table, you still have to make some decisions on your own. Look, this is what we want. This is how we want to do it. If you want to join us, it is fine. It's fine. And then Daniel Ogumodede being the coach of the season, I think it is not new. It is not a news actually. We all know where that was going to eventually pan out. Most times when you win the league, you eventually end up, except on few cases, you eventually end up being the coach of the season. Unless there are some coaches who out of the blue took some not too respected teams to a very big position, having to top finish, and then you begin to, you have some exceptions. But what happened in the MPFL last season wasn't something out of the ordinary. Remo Stars, out of the ordinary, they won the league, being the first privately owned club in the Southwest to win the league in a long time. So we're talking 2000. It's a big feat. It's a big feat for Daniel Ogumodede. And I do hope that it is going to be repeated. I mean, teams from the Southwest, Ikorodu City performed wonderfully well last season. We do hope that if they don't lose too much players, because I heard that one of their defenders is moving out of the country. And of course, if other teams like Shooting Stars can also stand up to the occasion. I mean, we want to see teams from the Southwest finish
at
least the top three, and then
yes.
they will challenge for the league in the Southwest. Oftentimes, you have seen teams from the East and from the North, claiming the gong in the last 10 years. Let's see teams from the Southwest also do something wonderful. I mean, Remo Stars was a revolutionary theme. They came on board and said, look, we are bringing this back to the Southwest, and they did it. And I want to see them repeat that feat. We see leagues where teams continue to win the leagues back to back. Not because other teams are not good, but because they know.
They put
Look at people said something about the Bundesliga, I think about 5-6 years ago, that was just Bayern Munich. Yes, it will be Bayern Munich because when they win the league, they don't relax. They recruit more players. And what they even do is to harvest the best legs in the teams that will challenge.
Yeah, from your team, actually.
So why don't you do that in the NPFL? If Remo Stars has the money, go for the best players at Shooting Stars. Go for the best players at Kano Pillars. Go for the best players at Ikorodu City.
And bring them to the team.
Put them in your team. You will win the league again and again. So we want to see teams bully other teams with money. And that is when you realize that, that's when you realize the fact that the economy is booming in the league. If it is booming, teams will be able to afford to buy the best players. Why can't Kun Khalifat go to Ghana and buy the best players? The top scorer in Ghana last season, and then bring him to the NPFL. If the league is booming,
you said the same Kun Khalifat we're talking about?
Yes, I'm saying it.
Amazing.
So if the league is booming, there's no small team when it comes to finance. Look at the EPL. There are some teams that finished maybe 16, 15, 14th last season. Look at how much they spent in the transfer window.
Come on. You
so
can
when it comes to transfer,
you can mention Sunderland, you can mention Burnley.
Look at how much they spend in the transfer window. That means the league is booming. There's something going on with the economy right there. And we can achieve that if we can do that here too. Smaller teams will be able to buy the best players and then put them in their team and challenge other teams.
That's true talk. True talk.
Honestly speaking, like every day on the show, we say it right here that if the board of the NPFL can understand what football can do to the economy situation of the country, I'm sure we'll be setting the right things going forward in football right here in Nigeria and sports in general. Moving away from that, let's talk more local stories, and this is coming through from Bayelsa Queens. They moved a step closer to reaching the group stage of the CAF Women's Champions League following a 2-1 comeback win over the USFA of Burkina Faso in the semi-final of the WAFO B qualifiers on Tuesday. The Nigerian champions rallied from an early setback at the Stade Charles Corner right there in Bani to reach the tournament final, where they will play our variant side ASEC Mimosas. The final against this thing will be tough, especially with the home crowd behind them. But we know what to expect and we'll prepare thoroughly for the challenge. That's the coach of the Bayelsa Queens speaking. Bayelsa Queens will be aiming for the second title, having lifted the trophy on their debut season in 2022. The final is scheduled for Friday, and the winner will secure a spot at this year's CAF Women's Champions League group. For you, wonderful feat, Bayelsa Queens getting to the final, and once they get that final tickets and also the trophy, they hand themselves at the CAF Women's Champions League face right there. For you, Bayelsa Queens, how do you see them rally to get a point on the away from home? Remember, they are playing this Ivorian side, and their fans will be running around them. How do you think they can navigate this one? Remember, they had a setback. They had to come away to win this game 2-1 for you. How do you envisage this game for them?
Like Samson just said, he said when they win, after they've won, they invest, they bully, was that the word? They bully other teams. Like the Nigerian female football generally, whenever they don't impress after a while, you see them come back and do something, and you're like, okay, the Nigerian football team, they are doing better. The Bayelsa Queens, am I surprised that they actually? No, I'm not.
Beautiful.
No, I'm not. Beautiful. Because the Nigerian female football, we women, we are very, very intentional. They're a very intentional group. For them to have won this, I'm not surprised. And will they get the ticket? Don't let me be the prophetess that will be wrong, but most likely they will, because they always come back every time. Even after the setback, they always come back to actually
to get the point.
We are not always disappointed with the female with the female football. Yeah. No, we're not. So I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they get the ticket. No.
Something for you. You look at what the Super Falcons did right there. You know, at the WAFCON, also the Tigers. Right now, we are talking Bayelsa Queens also. You know, having to get to the final and pick up a ticket for the Women's CAF Champions League. You know, women football in general for you this year. You know, has it been? I mean, women's sport in general. Don't let me put football now. Sport in general has it been for you? And also talking about the Bayelsa Queens.
Well, honestly, I would want to say that, you know, we started strong when it comes to female football in Nigeria, to be precise. Yeah. But at the point, it seemed like we were the sleeping giants. You know, we slowed down a little bit, and then that actually caught up with us. And I do hope that we have woken up. You know, what I saw at the WAFCON, I just saw it as, you know, it happened just because other teams were not that prepared, and the Super Falcons capitalized on that. Even though we saw flashes of individual brilliance in the team. We are not taking anything away from the victory.
I'm not even saying that. Link this. Yes. I know you're going to link that, but you know, talking about preparation also, we had just I can pick just 3 games that we had to prepare for the WAFCON also.
That's where I'm going. We are now talking about preparation and investment. I think, you know, we don't really do too much investment in female football in Nigeria.
True, I agree with you.
And that's a major problem. That's where you see in 2 years, a team will be able to gather a group of players, you know, perform so well, and then when the best legs in that team are picked, probably they travel abroad or other teams actually handpick them, you realize that they go back to, you know, status quo, and then after a few years too, they come back stronger. I will cite instances. We have had a season where Niger Ratels, you know, did so well.
Yeah,
the Confluence Queens they were up there. Rivers Angels, Ibom Angels too at the point. You know, we have had, you know, wonderful teams that at the point, you know, we had a set of quality players in that team, and all of a sudden they disappeared. So these things do happen, and if we don't want this to continue to repeat, it's a cycle that has repeated itself over time, and the evidences are there for everyone to see. You know, we spoke about you know, their feat in the year 2022, and then they went to sleep, and this is 2025 again, and we are saying them.
So we're talking 3-4 years.
So it's a cycle that should be broken. Now, if we want to get things right, do we put the same energy into scouting female footballers the same way we scout for male footballers? True. I think no. Do we invest so much in female football like we do invest in? At this stage, football, I don't think they should be playing a bridged league. I think they should be playing a standard league. So we have gotten to a stage where, yes, the Super Falcons are doing really well. But then, where do we get these players?
Come on.
Is it being, I mean, it's a field that should be watered, and we are not doing that.
Well, honestly speaking.
If you check the Super Falcons team now, you realize the fact that there used to be a time when about 50% of the players you will find in that team, they are playing in the
honestly speaking, they're based in Nigeria.
And now, if you look at what we currently have now, you realize that about 80% of them, or more, even more, they are playing outside. That's where you have, you know, Jennifer Uchejini, you have Rashida Ajibade, Asisato Shuala, all these players play abroad. What happens if they can't represent Nigeria? Is it going to be a fire brigade approach before we start looking for quality players localized in Nigeria? And that's where we are having a poor league. The moment our best legs leave, do we replace them? Do we get to replace them often? And I do watch football, you know, at grassroots level, and I begin to wonder, these are quality players. Who is picking them? Who is scouting them? Is it until this girl turns 25, 26 before she gets a team? And then how many years will she have left to play football? So if we have, you know, a standard league, we have more teams, we have more funding, then you realize the fact that we have more players injected into the league, and then it will be a profit for the Nigerian team, and then when we need players, it will be easy for you to scout. It's not a league localized in the southwest, or maybe in the north, or maybe in the south. But we can actually make it work by having a standard league and more investment. If we do more investments, then we'll not be talking about why we are talking about the WAFCON, where we thought, if we had prepared better, maybe it would have been a more outstanding, you know, performance. But they had a few skirmishes here and there in the competition, but if other teams were as prepared as the Super Falcons, I think we probably might not win. Because, we won for, I think, for 9 years, and then we had a break. I think Zambia,
yes, we were dominating South
truncated
Africa, Morocco,
the trend, and then if we had prepared at the time, if we had more quality players, maybe we would say have been, back-to-back champions. But now, I think, yes, we are back as champions, but can we go back to the drawing table and see where the problem is coming from? Which is, we need to fund the
common. I think we need to have so much investment right there in the female football because, these ladies have been doing something fantastic this year in the world of sport. You talk about basketball, you talk about football. Right now we're talking about Bayelsa Queens. And also if you look at, the athletes going to Tokyo, massive, wonderful female athletes, representing us on the big stage. So come on, I think we need to have a major investment in sport, dedicated to women sport. Going forward, let's take our stories still on the local front. Warri Wolves have been fined ₦1 million by Nigeria Premier Football League NPFL for security breach over the weekend. The NPFL charged the Seasiders for failing to provide prompt, adequate and effective security in their match day 2 encounter against Rangers, which led to the delay of the 4 p.m. kickoff time. So actually, I saw a video, on a flash call app, or let me say live app, where you see results for games, and the person was saying this game already is 24 minutes on the app, but it panned to the camera, and it turned its camera to the stadium, and we're yet to get the game. And I'm like, so what's happening? And this is the game we're talking about, And at that time, as of 4 p.m., the game was not yet to, there was no kickoff time. That's not started at that time. And they also won the encounter, played at the Southern Derby in Delta at 2-0. Warri Wolves have been directed to put in place an effective match day security arrangement and also submit its details to the NPFL board within 7 working days from the date of notice. The Delta-based side have 48 hours from the date of notice to appeal this sanction. They will host Kwara United in the next league game. Now, Samson Balogun and Fola, we talk about these things, these things. You already know that these are the rules that you must follow, before match day. So why should we be having issues like it's just 2 days? It's just match day 2 of the season, and already you are being fined ₦1 million. So if you're talking match day 10, then that means there'll be error. You were here match day 1. We saw the new development of saying, we're going to have a post and pre-conference of the coaches or maybe the captain speaking about the game, and we saw a table and a chair, the player putting on palm, and you're not decorating the league. And the person representing the NFF president said, we need to always celebrate the league. You're talking celebrating the league, and we're not putting standard on the league. That's what we are talking about. So I can understand that the board, they have their assignment to do, but I think even as individuals of clubs, I think you also have your own assignment to do. Come on, and here we have it, ₦1 million fine, Warri Wolves.
You see, the thing is, yes, it's right to say we must celebrate the league, but I think you should understand where Nigerians are coming from. Nigerians are a group of people that do not settle for less. They are always looking for standard, and until they get that standard, they would not celebrate mediocrity. So that is a response to
the response to standards.
Yeah, but most definitely, if you look at the current trend in the NPFL, I think we have not been doing enough, and we can actually do better. If you look at in a country where that you have aggressive fans, I think in the German Bundesliga, if you look at some stadiums like that of Borussia Dortmund, there is a barricade. In fact, after the barricade, there is a net. So there is no way you get onto the field.
So I was looking, I'm like,
you cannot obstruct play.
What's happening?
No way, you are not obstructing play. So, in some places, even in England, there are some teams that know that we have aggressive fans. Liverpool, for example, they have. I think Liverpool is one of the teams that has the highest number of stewards.
In the Premier,
because you see, aside from the ones you are seeing on the field of play, there are some who are in the dressing room. So if there is a crisis, they come out in their numbers. And then aside from that, outside the stadium, there are stewards. So they control traffic, they control fans who might likely, start crisis outside the stadium. The moment they notice you are one of the aggressive ones, they pick you and put you aside.
Immediately.
So you don't disturb the peace right there. Aside from that too, there are police officers on ground.
Yes.
So when there's a crisis, a steward picks you up, hands you over to the police. So there's no crisis. You are taken to the station, go and sort yourself there. And if for any reason, that's why we don't have database here, but in England there's a database.
Yes.
You can't even buy a ticket when you have been banned from the stadium.
Yeah, true.
So when you have been banned and you are entering the stadium, they know, oh, you have been banned, you cannot come into the stadium. They send you back immediately.
True.
But in Nigeria, there's nothing like that. There are just a few teams. There are just a few teams that I think might be able to pull that off in the MPFL, as you speak. Maybe Remo Stars, Ikorodu City, Sporting Lagos when they were still in the MPFL, because they are the set of teams where you can actually get your ticket online. So once your ticket pops up, the software tells them, no, this phase has been suspended. You cannot come into the stadium, and then your money is refunded. You are told you are not permitted to get a ticket. These are things that are measures being put in place. I spoke about the human aspect, where humans can actually get that done. If they spot that there is going to be crisis, there are stewards here and there. How many stewards, aside from ball boys, in the MPFL, how many stewards do you see? I was
about asking if they have a payroll for. So
I don't think so. The only people you see right there, even as Shooting Stars, the only people, I think it is just when we have seen, the new management as Shooting Stars, now you see bouncers in the stadium. But that is not even what we need.
In the stadium,
we need stewards, actual stewards.
Or at the gate pass. I think it's just gate pass.
Actually, at the VIP places, there are bouncers. The press corner, we had bouncers, I think about 2 of them. But that's not all we need.
We should have stewards. We should have stewards. We should have security personnel on ground.
They are not just bouncers. They are trained to handle situations at the football pitch. So there are two different things. So if we can get that done, then that will be fine. So I spoke about how you can use the internet to sort your problems. They don't even get to come to the stadium, not to talk of coming to cause trouble. And then the other one is, even if you don't have a database, you cannot do that. You don't have the internet, technical capacity to get it done. You can actually use human beings to sort that out, and that is the case of stewards. But put that, we don't even have the two, in the MPFL. So there's no way crisis will not happen. And then this is the time for the MPFL to wake up. If we are having this kind of situation, what do we put in place?
What do we put in place?
Now, your job is to tell, if you cannot afford to get too many stewards at this time, every team must have 10 stewards on the field.
On the field,
What they do is to control crisis. In the stadium, if they notice there's a fan that is causing trouble, they don't even, what they do is they come to your seat. Immediately. They speak to you politely and they usher you to somewhere. Probably you are still going to see the game to the end, but you have a special place you are going to sit, so you don't cause crisis. And after that, you are told for the next 6 months, we don't want to see you.
I'm sure in Nigeria, the fans will not take it lightly.
They will not take it lightly.
If it's still what the same, they will tell you, would you give my ticket back? You get that kind of thing. Yeah, come on.
It's not about even the money now. If one person is causing trouble, I think we have matured to an extent. There was a case that happened last season. I was sitting in the press box, and then someone somewhere very close to where we were, there was a barricade, was causing trouble, and what I noticed is that it was even some of the fans that they were telling him that you cannot cause problem. If you want to cause problem, we will pay you to go out of the stadium. It happened here at Adamasingba Stadium. Whoever saw the game will remember what I'm talking about.
Who are you that want to cause trouble?
If you want to cause trouble, they were shouting on him that you cannot cause trouble here. And if you want to cause trouble, we'll send you out of the stadium. Fans. It was the fans that did that. So if they could do that, how much more of if stewards came and say, please,
please.
Nobody is going to argue that, because they know they are doing that to save the face of the MPFL, to save the face of the team. Because one of the things that can berate a team solo is when you are in the news for causing trouble. That does not make this is not 2001. This is not 1999. This is 2025. We're crying out loud. There are some things that we should not be doing. And we are still saying it
at this point in time.
How about we are still talking about having stewards in stadiums in 2025. I mean, we have gone past that, and we can actually fix it.
We should have gone past that.
We should be fixing.
There should be an instruction that says every team must have at least 10 stewards on ground. I mean, that's the minimum you can have.
There should be a rule.
Honestly, if you're talking about rules, there are rules already set by the MPFL board, and they have said, before your match day.
Actually.
Yes, it's not just enforced. It's not enforced.
Some teams are actually hiding under that lacuna of enforcement to actually perpetrate that.
But I'm sure if every team is being fined $1 million every match day, I'm sure there'll be a wake up call already, because you know how much are we making from tickets that we are already
how much will you even pay
how
these stewards that you pay $1 million?
One day the chairman will just sit down there when boys
I think as we speak, an average bouncer, there are some who still gets about 15,000 per day for a job. I mean, how much? That's 150,000 for a game day.
And on one match you're paying $1 million. Come on, I think come on. I think we can do better. Like I said, I think aside from the board of the NPFL, you know, trying to set the league at a proper standard, I think every team also needs to wake up. You know, call your board together and tell them the right thing to do, because you know the right thing to do. There's a lay down rule for you to follow, and you must follow that. Moving away from that, let's talk the Super Eagles of Nigeria at this point in time, and we are talking about them throughout till Friday, because we were looking at the camp of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Right about now, 15 players are now at the camp of the Super Eagles in Uyo ahead of the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers against Rwanda and South Africa. The camp opened on Monday with Captain William Troost-Ekong leading the early arrivals. Now, quick one. Today is Troost-Ekong's birthday, and we saw the celebrations. You know, the captain of the side, wonderful one. And also we have Troost-Ekong, we have goalkeeper Amas Obazoge, and also defender Bruno Imati and Felix Agu. Also in camp, Simon Moses, base goalkeeper Adeleye Adebayo, defender Chidozie Awaziem. We have Benjamin Fredericks. We have midfielder Wilfred Ndidi, Frank Onyeka, and Fisayo Dele Bashiru. The wing back, we have Olaino. We have Bright Osai Samuel, we have Kevin Bassi, and we have midfielder Alex Iwobi also arrived. Also, Chippa United goalkeeper Stanley Wambali is expected to be in camp right there as at yesterday evening, stroke this morning. Also, Christos Uche, Samuel Chukwueze, Tulu Aruko Dari, Siris Desas, Ademola Lukman, and Victor Osimhen are also yet to hit the camp. The Super Eagles held their first official training section at the practice pitch at Godswill Akpabio International Stadium right there in Uyo. Yesterday evening. There you have it on the screen, the training of the Super Eagles ahead of Rwanda. Fola, a must-win game, like I say, a must-win game for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. How do you see the preparation for the boys? What do we need to do? What does the coach, Eric Shells, what does he need to tell the player at this point in time? Because it looks like, you know, if you don't get the win against Rwanda, nothing can be done. And honestly speaking, Sam saying, you know, you get the win against Rwanda, you get the win against South Africa, there's still a slim chance of qualification still for you. So come on, what must be done, you know, camp, you know, who can change the game, who can bring in the spark right there for the Super Eagles of Nigeria? Fola, for you.
First of all, I would say that was the fact that Troost-Ekong came early. And you know, that's a good example for the captain, meaning he's here for business and is ready for show. Like, okay, I'm going to show this my other teammates a good example and be here early, and that's good. Yeah, beautiful. And it shows us seeing them on screen here, practicing, training very early. They're trying to tell us Nigerians that we should not to worry. Okay, what must be done? Everybody must get their acts right. Everybody should get their acts right. That is what must be done. And hopefully, but against Rwanda, I wouldn't say Rwanda because we cannot underrate any team anymore when it comes to football.
But I know you're trying to say, like, you know, Nigeria to Rwanda, it's a big margin.
It's a big margin, and if we draw this game, that's an embarrassment. That's a loss for Nigeria.
A loss for Nigeria.
We have to win. It's win or go home, or don't even come for the match. Win.
Win.
Or don't even let us come to the stadium and waste our time. Yeah, true. Don't. You have to win. So win.
Win. Something for you. You look at the group of players, you know, playing in the Super Eagles squad for Nigeria, and you look at other African teams, and you say, you know, you can pick. This team is okay to beat any team on the continent when it comes to African football. But right now, this is where we are at this point in time, having to draw out our algebras at this point, you know, calculations, hoping that, you know, one team slips off the other. We should not be struggling. If you look at the group stage where we are, we should not be struggling. What needs to be done, and how do we go forward? Also, look at the calibers of players coming to the camp, you know, the prepared mind for these players. Was it for you going forward?
You see, that's what that teaches us is the fact that football is not played on paper. You know, you can have as many superstars on your you know, on team sheet,
your team sheet,
and still get beaten black and blue. So it's just like that. You cannot play football, you know, with your pen and paper.
Yeah, true.
You have to put in the shift on the field of play, and that's the most important thing. I think there was a time that you know, some teams paraded, you know, superstars, and they were still getting beaten, you know, in and out. But you know, as for the Super Eagles, I still see a culture of permutation and combination that if we beat so-so team and so-so team loses.
Yes.
I mean, we should have gotten beyond that stage. Unfortunately, that's the position
that's where we are now.
Right now. And,
2025.
It can be corrected, and their faith is in their hands. You know, some players I still feel that there will be a little problem, judging by the fact that some of the players invited to the team, they just moved from one team to the other. They are not even settled.
Not much fitness yet.
But then there is still a glimmer of hope, judging by the fact that there are some players who are settled and are doing wonderfully well. Victor Osimhen sought his own faith a long time ago. He was on the scoring sheet over the weekend. And Moses Simon back-to-back goals for him. In fact, at Paris FC, he now plays as a striker rather than a winger. And you know, playing as a striker for a team that just promoted, and he is still scoring goals. I saw how mesmerizing was against Olympic Marseille. Marseille almost lost that game, if not because of the resurgence of you know, Mason Greenwood and some other players. So these are players who are doing fine. I think Frank Onyeka too, this season, he has been a revelation.
Fantastic. He gave an assist over the weekend. Beautiful.
Excellently well.
Beautiful.
These are players who have been week in, week out for their teams. They have done well, even though the season has just started. But 2 games in, they are doing exceptionally well. Calvin Bassey had a very good game in the first game of the season, save for the fact that Estivao of Chelsea, you know, made him look stupid, you know, against Chelsea.
You look at Olajuwon, but then
he showed what he was capable of doing. And you know, I just want to see how the coach wants to blend these players together. They are quality players, yes, we understand. But can they play together as a team? Because that is why we are here in the first place.
True.
They could not muster, you know, clear-cut chances. And the little they had, they could not convert. So going into this game, one of the things I want them to stop is the fact that don't promise them money on goals. Because that will bring about selfishness. These players will not play as a team. Every one of them will want to score goals. But then let them play as a team. If you win as a team, you get also amount of money. That is enough motivation for them
quick on something.
to go into the game.
So quick on something. Yes, talking about that, I wanted to talk about it, but I felt that, you know, should we still be doing that at this point in time? These players are quality players. We should not be doing on goals. So if we're not motivating you with money, are you telling us you can't get the result done? Is that where we are at this point in time now?
That is why you cannot compare Africa to Europe, America, or Asia. You know, when there's something we call when you have been selected to play for your team, the only thing you want to derive for other countries is the pride of putting on that chest.
Honestly speaking.
But in Nigeria, it has been monetized. So they do not care about putting... There used to be a time like that when we had the likes of Celestine Babayo, Augustine Eguavoen, we had Rashidi Yekini, we had Peter Rufai, Ikechoro Omu, those ones, Taribo West, Austin Jeje Okocha. I think the generation it ended, you know, I think after, let me say, since we could not qualify for Germany 2006, the culture of playing your hearts out for the Super Eagles ended there. Then we started breeding a new set of players who just wanted to play for the money. They just wanted to play to shine so that they could get better deals with other teams. So these are 2 things these people are playing for now. And that's why you see a player that is not doing too well will be forced into the Super Eagles team after you have played 2 games. And then your agent is already looking for a team that is a Super Eagles player. That is why I always question this. When Kayode Bankole of Remo Stars was doing excellently well. He was not invited into the Super Eagles team. But Amos Obasogie of Bendel Insurance is in the team. In fact, he's still there.
He's still there.
What is he doing there? Come on. These are questions you ask questions. You ask questions. Till now, Kayode Bankole is still one of the best goalkeepers you will find in the MPFL. So why is Mustafa Lawal Spider? He's not in the Super Eagles. But Amos Obasogie is still there. Ask yourself this question. John Noble, for example, where is... For the last 2 years, how much have you heard about John Noble? But he has, for over time, has found his way into the Super Eagles team. and we had other goalkeepers that are doing fine. So if we put aside, you know, the culture of who brought you here, nepotism. If we put aside the culture of I just want to play to get a better team, put it aside. If you put aside the culture of let me just play for the money, all these three things, if you put them aside, you want to play for the Super Eagles, not just Super Eagles. You want to play for Nigeria. You are representing the country Nigeria. If that is done, we'll get back to where we used to be. Like the team of the USA 94, Atlanta 96. These guys are quality players. They did excellently well for the Super Eagles. And you would see that even though they fell short, they did not win. But they were playing good football. You were enjoying what they were doing. So that is what we have to do.
Honestly speaking, you know, like I said, we'll be talking about the Super Eagles of Nigeria ahead of preparation against Rwanda. And I think if these players cannot get a ticket, if most of these players cannot get a ticket, you know, for the World Cup, I'm sure, you know, they're done and dusted already. If you look at, you can mention 6-7 players that once they can't get a ticket like this, I'm sure they cannot be part of the team going forward for any World Cup qualification again because of age and number. So I think this is the right time. And most of these players, they need this ticket. You mentioned players like Victor Osimhen, you know, he wants to play at the World Cup. He has never been at the World Cup before. You know, you look at, you know, Alex Iwobi, look at Calvin Bassey.
That is why you see the passion in the last game when they drew. It was so livid that, like, what are you guys doing?
We should not be drawing this game.
I got the goal. Defend your net. That's the only thing you have to do.
It's as simple as that. Come on. I need this ticket more than anybody. Come on. Honestly speaking.
It was obvious. We needed a goal. I gave you a goal.
Come on.
The only thing you have to do is to defend that goal. And you conceded. Guys, what are you doing?
Come on. But don't worry, we'll be here to keep on talking about the preparations ahead of the game against Rwanda by 5 p.m. on Saturday. I'm sure you'll be out there supporting the Super Eagles of Nigeria on the go. Moving away from that, let's take transfer update. And Asisat Oshoala, is on the radar. She signed with Al Hilal of Saudi Arabia. It looks, I think I'm just here to relax. Something for that. You know, I think I've done enough. You know, when it comes to football, I'm sure she's still going to enjoy football right there, but she has achieved so much. This is, you know, one of the best Nigeria, you know, female African football. Wonderful baller, you know, day in, day out. And yes, she is with Al Hilal. Also, if you look at, we have other 3 Nigerian players, you know, playing in Saudi Arabia. That's Ashley Promptly and also Francisca Odega and Asisat Oshoala joined them right there in Saudi Arabia. Yes, those 2 players are playing for Al Ittihad right there, but, you know, Asisat Oshoala will be playing for Al Hilal of Saudi Arabia. For you, for that good move, something also quick ones for that.
Yes, good move. Like you said, she has played for so for so long. She has achieved so much. Now she wants to relax. It's a good move actually. Yeah, and what's it called? She's going to enjoy football. She's going to enjoy football there. So
I think her career is far from over.
True.
We from this end, we do think that players who move to the Saudi League or maybe the United States, they were, you know, ready to actually hang their boots. But I will cite an instance when Landon Donovan was coming to Everton on loan for every 3 months. When they had a break in the US, he was always doing excellently well. So those leagues are not farmers leagues. They are not retirement leagues. They're actually leagues for people who are actually playing football. And most of them, I'm not talking against what you said.
It's against you.
What most people do think is the fact that the moment you move to the US, Saudi Arabia, move to Asia, then that will be
just about making money.
You are there to make money.
But quick one, something. So young players are still the age of 22 moving to Saudi Arabia. You beg the question?
Yes.
Money move?
It's not really about money move. You know, sometimes when you need offers, you want to play football, and the only offer that comes to your table is Saudi Arabia. Would you say you want to stay at home because you know you want to play in the APL? The offers are not coming from the APL. You go to some places to shine and then come back. I will cite instances of players who went to Saudi Arabia, who went to the United States and still came back to play in the top leagues. So it doesn't matter where you play. All that matters is, do you still have it in you? And if you still have it in you, you will continue to shine. I want to remember, I think it was Anderson Talisca, you know, went to Saudi Arabia, eventually came back to Turkey to play football. So it doesn't matter. All that matters is, do you still have the zeal, the passion, and of course, do you still have the energy to carry things out? So that's all that matters. And for me, people will say, oh, she's probably done with football, she wants to go and relax. That's not it. Because people who actually pay so much money for her to come to Saudi Arabia, they are not seeing it that way.
They're not expecting to relax.
That's the
Yeah,
point.
yeah,
They're not saying that because they have invested so you can come and
to earn
deliver.
that money.
So it's not a retirement league.
Yeah,
she's going there to work and she's still going to do it.
All right. We hope that Azizat Oshoala will be there banging in the goals like she does always right there in front of goal. Now we're talking Kelechi Iheanacho move to Celtic right there. Brendan Rodgers said he called for the man, and remember he has played with Brendan Rodgers right there at Leicester City, and he said he knows the quality of Kelechi Iheanacho, and trust me, Kelechi Iheanacho is a quality player on his good day, but right now he's playing for Celtic right there in Scotland. For you, Samson, a good move?
Yes, it's
just a 1 year, just a 1 year deal. Revive the career again.
A dying career, we'll put it that way.
Actually,
because one of the mistakes you would make is when there are offers, you make the wrong choice. And I want to believe that his move to Sevilla was a very wrong one. If a player like Kelechi Iheanacho would love to play in a team where football is played on the ground, not where they do kick and follow, because he's short and he loves to put the ball at his feet. So it was a wrong move for him to play at Sevilla last season.
Wrong move.
But going to Celtic, Brendan Rodgers is known for his kind of football where he plays on the ground. He loves to play on the ground. And Kelechi Iheanacho is more or less like a plus to the Celtic team. He's a player that can play, as the second striker, play behind the striker in the hole as a tricosista, and they can also play as a top 9. So if given the opportunity, he would be able to, get things done. And it's a new start for him. And I do hope that Brendan Rodgers, having worked with him before, will be able to revive his career and he will start scoring goals.
All right. A quick one before we go. Let's just look at the pictures that being displayed on the screen on the US Open. Here you have it. Yes, Yannick Sinner against Musetti is going to happen today. Also, Demir also having that one. Sorry, please, can we just go back to the men's quarterfinal group right there? Thank you. Djokovic against Taylor Fritz. Wonderful final. Djokovic is true, and it's going to face Carlos Alcaraz right there. Let's move on to the women's single. Yes, there you have it. Also, Sabalenka, having that one. Also, we have Pegula true. We have Machova and Osaka. Also, we have Anisimova and Iga Swiatek also true. Let's look at the next draw. There you have the Grand Slam for Novak Djokovic, US Open 14, semi-final appearance to Wimbledon 14, Roland Garros 13, and also the Australian Open 12. Also moving on quickly, let's look at more pictures. Yes, there you have it against Taylor Fritz, 6-3, 7-5, 6-3, 6-4, taking the game to game 4 right there of the US Open. Quickly moving on, let's take more pictures. There you have it. It's going to be mouth-watering game against Djokovic and Alcaraz. Some say it's follow-up. I think this one we're just going to end this quick one. This game for you, who are you tipping to win this one?
Well, I think it's a battle between, the OG
the new taker.
So it's going to be a very big encounter.
Yeah.
And Djokovic with the experience, Alcaraz with the energy. It's going to be
experience and energy. That's true.
It's going to be a back and forth. I think Djokovic still has a little bit of energy in him.
Yeah.
But Alcaraz is
stretching the last game to game 4.
He has been around at least for some time now. And it's not a mistake that he is there. He might just claim the scarf of Novak Djokovic and put it in the record room. I defeated him at the semi-final of the US Open. But this will be their first US Open meeting. And I do hope that Alcaraz, Novak Djokovic can save his face by getting a victory. But I do not see that happening because Alcaraz can match him toe-to-toe when it comes to energy and the technical know-how. So let's just see what happens. But I'm tipping Alcaraz for you.
For your experience against energy, do you think Novak can go toe-to-toe with Alcaraz? Or
experience against energy. Well, does the experience still have the energy? Because Alcaraz is a very, apart from being an aggressive and very, he goes for the game.
He goes for the game.
Yeah, and what's it called? Alcaraz will not give in. He reminds me so much of Nadal. And the kind of energy Nadal had and the kind of energy Alcaraz brings to the game. Djokovic was not able to defeat Nadal. Because of that kind of energy. So can Djokovic come to the game
against Alcaraz?
I doubt it. I doubt it. Yes, he has the experience, but technically, Alcaraz is also ready. So yes, you have the experience and you are a technical genius. But I'm also energetic and I have the technical,
Yeah, that's why I'm tipping Alcaraz.
Okay, so you're tipping Alcaraz. So you're all tipping
But the
Alcaraz.
truth is, because she's tipping Alcaraz, I'm going with Novak Djokovic.
Why?
Because anytime, any day, experience is key. And you know, that's one thing you cannot buy in the supermarket.
Are you serious?
Experience
No. Honestly speaking,
there's no price tag on experience, and you can get it anywhere.
Experience is key, but
Unless
can
you
Djokovic go for long?
It's a question.
Djokovic go for long?
This encounter is going to be a battle of first and second sets. Now, if Djokovic can withstand Alcaraz in the first set,
and also the second set,
I think, you know, Alcaraz is done for. Can't, that means Alcaraz is going to take the day. But I do hope that Djokovic will be able to stand him in the first and second set. And once that is done, I think I'm giving it to Djokovic.
All right, we'll be back here tomorrow, and we'll be giving the result, and I'm sure, you know, some faces will be swollen by then, and we'll be expecting more. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for joining us today, right here on Dominion Sport. And also, please make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, and drop your comment. We are supporting the Super Eagles all the way against Rwanda, so make sure you keep cheering on for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Samson, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Fola, thank you so much. To my producer and to the crew, I say a big thank you to you. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.